last night you said it's up to all of us to evaluate LeBron's performance. It's up to you to try to do something about it. And I'm wondering, you guys have primarily single covered him, trapped him a little bit now and then, but do you have anything? Do you expect to do something different going forward?
First question, Draymond has back spasms. He should be able to play tomorrow. He's getting treated today, and we'll evaluate him each day, but he should be okay. As far as our coverage on LeBron, yeah, I mean, you have to evaluate everything. You have to look at your options. You have to think about, if you take something away, what you're giving up, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what today is about. We've lost 2 games in a row in the series, so we have to look at everything. And it may mean we change some things. It may not. Maybe it's something else we have to change. But that's what today is about: watching film and the staff getting together and moving forward.
Ann?
Steve, you were in the same situation against Memphis. How many similarities can you draw between this series and that series? And between games 3 and 4 in that series, you sat down and watched the film from start to finish. Are you going to do anything similar to that today?
We might have if we didn't have all the obligations over here. So it's your fault, Ann. Honestly, it's so different in the finals. In the earlier rounds, you have the day to yourself. You get the liberty to decide how you're going to spend your day. So that day in Memphis, we didn't even go to the gym. We just went to a ballroom and watched the tape for 2 hours. Tougher to do that now because of all of our obligations here, coming over to the gym. We probably won't watch the whole game. We will watch significant parts of it, but the similarity is there. Physical team that slows it down, like Memphis did. Our frustration with our pace and tempo is there. So it's very similar, and it's very helpful that we've been through this process. Obviously, the personnel is different, the teams are different, but it's something we've been through, and that is a positive that we can draw on that experience.
Front on your left.
Tom Haberstroh, ESPN. You were just talking about the pace. You guys were the fastest team in the regular season, and it seems like they're dictating the pace. LeBron, a lot of ISOs, milking the clock. How do you change that? And did you expect that going in? And just you haven't been able to dictate the paces?
Yeah, we expected that coming in because this is the way Cleveland has played throughout the playoffs. Their pace has been pretty slow, and their pace has actually been faster when LeBron's been out of the game in the playoffs overall. So he's controlling the tempo. He's doing a great job of it. And yeah, that's what we're looking at. How can we speed the game up? Is it by changing our defense? Is it by what we're doing offensively? In my mind, it's always a combination of things. It's never one thing. But we've got to look at all that, and we've watched the tape already. We'll watch it again, and we'll figure some things out, but that's something that we have to get done. We've got to be able to get a little more pace to the game.
2 rows back on the left.
Robert Littell, BSO. Steve, can you talk a little bit about the shooting struggles of Draymond and Harrison? Is it a confidence issue, and what do you think they need to do to kind of get out of that funk?
Again, it's shots come and go. I don't worry too much about whether guys are making shots. It's everything else that we can control. The defensive effort, the mistakes that we're making with our coverages or not boxing out, or maybe not running our offensive set the way we want to run it. Those are the things you can control, and it's a funny game when you do those things well, the shots tend to go in. It's just sort of the karma that's involved. But you don't worry about guys making shots, missing shots. That happens. That's part of the game.
Over here on the right.
Steve, Stephan Bondy from the New York Daily News. We heard about how in '97 Michael was motivated by losing the MVP to Karl Malone. What are your memories of that? And do you think it can apply to somebody like LeBron in this case?
To be honest, I don't even remember that. I mean, Michael used every motivation that he could, and that worked for him. So I have no idea if that applies here or not.
Right here.
Coach Noah Kozlov, Cinesport, you talked about controlling what you guys can actually control. Did you think your guys got overwhelmed last night at times?
Overwhelmed by what?
By the Cavs and what they were doing on the floor?
No, I don't think we were overwhelmed at all. I mean, it was a 1-point game with a few minutes left. I mean, we made a great comeback. I thought our fight in the fourth quarter, our energy was good. I just thought the game got away from us a little bit. Couple of lapses defensively in the second quarter, and our third quarter was the killer, falling behind. But we weren't overwhelmed. We weren't at our best. Obviously, we weren't sharp. We found a group that really started to play and got us back in the game, but we didn't do that for a long enough period, and we've got to be more consistent.
Standing on the left.
Carl Stewart from the Bay Area News Group. Steve, Andrew Bogut has been one of your primary facilitators on offense, but it seems like Cleveland is playing him very aggressively and trying to force decisions out of him. Do you see any difference in the way Andrew has been able to handle that, and do you have to make an adjustment there?
I mean, he hasn't been at his best offensively. We're really good when he's passing and moving at the top of the circle, and then also posting up and passing out of the low post. And we've had moments of that during the series, but we'd like to get him going for sure. It's all part of the process, and as we go through the series, we'll try to do what we can to get him in a little better groove as well.
Last two here in the third row, and then Josh.
Yeah, Mark Purdy from the San Jose Mercury News, Bay Area News Group. Steve, it's clear you have the depth advantage with all their injuries over there. Why do you think that hasn't shown up yet, or is it showing up in ways we're not seeing, or is it something that will show up as the series progresses? How do you turn up the volume on that?
I would say it has shown at times. We were 11 down in Game 2 with 3 minutes to go, and got it into overtime. I think, depth could have been a factor there. We were 20 down last night, cut it to 1. Maybe that's depth. I think we're right there. We're playing 10 guys. They're playing 7. Can we do a better job of allowing that depth to be a factor? We'll see, but it's been our strength all year, and we've got to keep throwing bodies out there, and over the course of 7 games, I'm confident that will have an effect, and as I said, I think it already has.
Josh, last one.
Steve, Josh Weir from the Canton Repository. How much overreaction is there from one game to the next? Think outside the locker room, and do you have to guard against that in the locker room at all, of your players kind of overreacting from one result to the next?
Well, that's how this works, right? There's always overreaction to everything. Outside the locker room, for sure. Inside the locker room is where it's much easier to control the dialogue, the narrative, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's what today is about, is putting it in perspective. We're one win away from being right back where we need to be. We've been in this situation as we talked about with Memphis. So it's a day to regroup and see what we can do better, and get our heads up and be ready for tomorrow.